Alrighty, the PPMCC can be found if we go click there in measurement. We can actually see 1, 2, 3 examples. We can also see here about measurement. So we've actually got the level 2, 3, 4 and 5 and 6 from the New Zealand curriculum. So that helps you as well. So to go back to the PPMCC, we click on here. So one day we actually did do this kind of problem, all right, where we had a couple of stacks and we were comparing both the surface area and the volume of those two. So this is quite complicated. You would need a big group, maybe of even 6 people, so that 3 people could do one stack and 3 people the other stack. You would have a Google slide share where you would have the working, the showing of the working is really important. So you'd have a slide for the problem, a slide for the plan, maybe multiple slides for the measurements with photos, calculations, you'd have a conclusion. Now, these are inspiration to make up your own problems. So, just hang on. So, for example, this one here with the 3 balls in the container, I'd expect you to physically bring something like that into school and show how you measured the diameter and radius of the sphere, how you calculated it, what formula you used, showing all of your working, and the problem might be how much air is in this container. All right, so we're making all the maths visible. That just helps you a little bit with the PPMCC. So the next one we would look at, we did in class, was I talked to you about looking at product versus packaging. So with this one, you can see the actual calculations and evidence of calculating and a conclusion. So the conclusion was, it was basically 84% packaging and air and only 16% was the volume. So again, you would do it in a group and you would aim to make it meaningful. This is just an idea. It's not like an example of the whole thing. The next thing we did in class was we did the posting box activity. So we were looking at triangles, squares, parallelograms, trapeziums, circles with the same area. And once we had the same area, if those blocks, if that was the area of the base and the height was the same, the volume would be the same. So that was another example. So that was our posting box example, and that covers the different examples we've done in class. So if we click on here, we can see a little bit, this was back in 2014, so we can see another sort of a problem, and that was like, how long will this last, the school? And there was a lot of estimation and stuff with that. Wikispaces does not exist anymore, so that doesn't come into it. But you can see that there was a plan, there was measuring, there was photos, there was formulas, there's calculations, and then conclusion, and what level that would be at. And the exemplar was at level 3 because it was only a cuboid. And possibly level 4. So you've got options, all right? So if I go back to my Google site, if we go to measurement, term 3 measurement here, you can see we have done week 1 and week 2. We are now week 3, so we're focusing on volume and surface area, but also these skills here are going to be in the test, so we've got to focus on that as well. And there you've got all the links about the project for week 4. So week 4 is studying and the project. Then week 5, Monday and Tuesday is presentations. Wednesday and Thursday is the common test. So the common test is done individually in silence. You must bring a calculator. and the presentations are done as a group, and I think that Google Slides is the best way of presenting. Okay, so by the end of this week, week 3, you need to know who's in your group and what you're presenting. Okay.